So we went to Chili's on Saturday night for Emmett's first birthday. There's 25 of us, and we all sat in like this huge table. So we have this server, and he comes out, he takes everybody's drink orders, he takes everybody's food orders, and he's just on top of it. Like, probably the best server I've had in a long time. So everybody's sitting there, and we waited a little bit to get our food, which was okay because we were socializing. It didn't matter. And we finally get our food, and once we get our food, everybody's got their food. He brings out the last tray, which had 3 people's food on it, and it hits the floor. Food goes everywhere, ranch goes everywhere, and I just jump up and I start helping him getting all this stuff off the floor, and he's like, I got it. And I'm like, look, we got kids. It happens. Like, things get spilled. I mean, we were there 2 minutes and root beer went flying across the table. So it's like, things happen. It's all right. And so the night goes on, and everybody at the table is reassuring him, like, life happens. It's all right. Don't worry about it. And so all this happens, and then at the end of the night, most of my family has already left by this time, except for our granny. And she just had a pacemaker put in. So she hasn't got to hold Everett in a little bit of time. So I told Dakota, I was like, I don't care what we have to do. She is holding this baby before we leave. So everything happens, and he gets Everett out and gives him to Granny. And that waiter comes back, and he's talking to me. And I mentioned to him earlier in the night, I had asked him if he could sing Happy Birthday to Emmett, and I explained to him that my son had passed away and he would have been a year old. So in that moment, he didn't ask questions. He didn't ask questions at all. He just he brought me the cupcakes we brought in. He got the whole crew to come and sing Happy Birthday. Like, no big deal. So later that night, after Granny was holding the baby, he came back and he said, can I see a picture of Emmett? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I'm literally like pulling up my phone, and I'm shaking because I'm like, I've never had this happen. Like, most of the time you tell someone you don't even know who they are and they feel uncomfortable, they leave it at, oh, okay, I'll sing Happy Birthday, and that's it. But no, like, he wanted to know about Emmett. He wanted to see Emmett. And it was like he was engaged in the conversation. It wasn't anything about, oh, if I smooch them a little bit, they're gonna give me more money or this, that, and the other. No, like, he had already got his tips. He had already got everything. We were just literally sitting there letting Granny hold the baby. And I was like, what? So I'm like shaking, trying to find pictures of my son. And I'm showing him pictures of my son, and I'm like, you know, this is Emmett. And then I showed him Everett, and I was like, this is Everett. This is his little brother. And he looks at me and said, well, at least Everett's always going to have a big brother in heaven looking over him. And I was like, yeah, exactly. And it shocked me that this guy did not feel uncomfortable. Like, he did not, and he was young, like, not an older man. He was young. And he did not feel uncomfortable with the fact that my son had passed away, and I was at Chili's celebrating his first birthday. Like, people would think that's crazy. They're like, you know, they're not here anymore. Why would you actually have a party or celebrate? But he didn't feel uncomfortable. But at the end of the conversation, I looked at him and I said, look, life happens. Things happen. Don't worry about everything that happened tonight. It's been a great night. And he looked at me and he said, you know, I've learned we can't control everything. And that hit me because I'm like, we can't. Like, I can't control anything. There's nothing I really can control because God's going to let happen what he wants to happen. And I'm not saying that to justify anything because this isn't for that. I'm just saying, like, slow down. Like, nothing has to be perfect. Things don't have to be perfect. Just slow down, take it day by day, take it minute by minute, take it 10 seconds at a time if you have to. But it's okay if the dishes don't get done. It's okay if your house is an absolute mess, but you're happy. It's okay if you're wearing sweatpants for 3 days in a row because you've not done laundry because you'd rather snuggle up with your baby or lay down and take a nap, for Pete's sake. I mean, once I had Everett, I just wanted to control everything. Like, I felt like if I done everything right as a mom, he would stay all right, that I wouldn't have to worry about God taking him from me. And that's not true. I can do everything right like I did last time and it still happened. Apply that to your life no matter what circumstances you are in today. Not me. I mean, yeah, I've lost a child and I can apply it to a lot of things. I can apply it to being a new mom. I can apply it to the fact that I lost Emmett. I can apply it to the fact that God's going to let happen in my life what he wants to happen. But everybody else has a different situation. So just remember, you cannot control everything.